Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Tuesday, June 21, 2022, after 3 p.m. Eastern. We're having a Time for Change call tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern. You can't change the truth, but the truth can change you. There are as many great truths in our universe as there are stars in the sky. And yet, just like the billions of trillions of stars that exist, not all truths are created equal. The universe is not just made of black and white colors. All you got to do is look a little closer on a clear night, and you'll see an entire rainbow of flavors. There's a vast multi-dimensional cosmic playground out there, and inside of all of us as well. We live in a highly diverse, intelligent system, which contains various degrees of truth, and so not every truth will impact us the exact same way. The bigger a truth is, the more it will expand our reality. And the smaller a truth is, the more it will shrink and contract our experience of this life. The good news is that we don't have to decide what is a big truth and what is a small truth. Our physical bodies will let us know. For our heart is the best guide for seeing how expansive or contracted a truth actually is. Whenever we discover a larger, more profound truth in this life, a little miracle happens. Everything that once felt hard, heavy, and stuck inside us suddenly becomes exalted and liberated. We feel lighter than air and are filled with a natural, spontaneous joy inside which flows as freely as the wind. The mind stops thinking, and we experience our own source of consciousness. From here, we see life from a much more expanded perspective, and it can happen within milliseconds. One of the biggest truths you may ever uncover along your path is the first lesson in the Course in Miracles. It simply states, that which is real cannot be threatened, and that which is unreal does not exist. It may take a while to spiritually digest this enormous truth into our minds and root it throughout our lives. The more that you sit with it, the deeper it transforms the entire way of viewing yourself and others in the world. That which is real cannot be threatened, and that which is unreal does not exist. That which is real cannot be threatened. Think about this. What is it that feels threatened inside you? What is this personality, self, ego, or that thing you call you, which defends itself when feeling attacked or provoked? What is this little you who has a need to be on guard and protect itself, trying to assert itself, and attempting to achieve something important or worthwhile with their life? And then, who is this overly strong, confident, all-important you who compensates for the super small, unimportant you? It's the one who has been attempting to make your life secure by feeling self-important, accomplished, met in deep embrace by their beloved, and all the while is feeling a deep and constant separation from God. Good news is, in all this, is that who we truly are has nothing to do with who and what we think we are. Whatever we may think of and conceive of about ourselves with the mind can only be a thought. And this little thought is too small to be who or what we are. Who and what we really are is beyond any spiritual understanding of the mind. In this moment, and only in this moment, we can find what is actually real. And this real thing is the only thing that liberates us and binds us at the same time. That which is real, the real you, does not change. And this essence is what remains the same for all eternity. That which is real, the real you, does not change. And this essence is what remains the same for all eternity. Perhaps the most pivotal, enlightening truth that you may discover this week is understanding how all identification with the ego is based in some form of fear. If we are not experiencing a state of oneness, unity, love, connection, relaxation, and bliss, we are hanging out in some quality or version of fear. If we are not experiencing a state of oneness, unity, love, connection, relaxation, and bliss, we are hanging out in some quality or version of fear. The ego is clinging to some thought or a process of thoughts which believes deep down that it is not one with the divine. It thinks it is not loved, accepted, embraced, or enlightened. The more creative you become, the more godly you become. When your creativity comes to a climax, when each moment of your life is filled with creativity, you live in God. Osho. Enlightenment is simply realizing again and again and again how to remain non-identified with one's ego. The enlightened state is a pure seeing, understanding how the ego is the greatest illusion of them all. To intimately know and become identified with the real self, that which cannot be threatened, is the only true path to total freedom there is. All other paths lead to some form of suffering. It requires no basic standard of ethics, codes of spirituality, or religious background needed to arrive. We simply experience ourselves as the essence of consciousness that we naturally are. The ego, who we think we are, has some truth to it, yet it's just not a very big truth. It's a smaller truth which only castrates our ability to expand into love, trust, and a feeling of oneness. Ego is a fear-based program that is based in the opposite experience of trust. Whenever we're living in trust 24 hours a day, we start accessing all the wisdom and knowledge known to all the saints, masters, and enlightened beings throughout history. We step into the greatest experience of our lives. We find our real true selves and know that we are the real masters of our destiny. When we know our real nature, we can allow life to play its ego personality role through us and somehow not get in the way. We can sit back, go with the flow, and enjoy the ride. We can remain fascinated by this life, learning how we are here to serve others, take care of our bodies, and simply let the all-intelligent life force move through us. This state of perpetual enjoyment of life is real mastery. When we remain free from all forms of ego identification, we cannot help but to enjoy all aspects of this life. We allow a greater love to always guide our course and help us live with ease and grace in every way. So if you will, go to the place where you're not going to be interrupted. I'm sure that we all are. And the first thing that we care to do is relax these bodies that we are in. Most of us don't do that. And how you relax the body? Well, we've tried a lot of ways, all of us, different directions, different approaches, synthetic. But when it boils down to it, it's the breath. Focusing on our breath. Easy and slowly through the nose in, easy and slowly through the mouth out. Listening to the breath. And by doing this, the body releases. It lets go. You'll be able to tell. It no longer is not hanging on to things, storing things, releasing tension, stress, fear, anxiety, worry, because the body stores it. It stores our worry, stress, fear, anger, anxiety. And through the years, the body continues to store. And after a short period of time, we have biological breakdowns within the body. So doesn't it make sense to, as much as we possibly can, to release that, to not allow it to harbor within the body, and to let it go? And by the breath, which is omnipotently powerful, and we take the breath for granted. And we, the gods, come into these bodies to experience them. And we, in a way, we power them. And so the breath is created. Oxygenation. Without the breath, we would have to leave the body. So it stills the ego mind. Even though the ego mind is an illusion, it stills it. It stills the subconscious mind. And what that means is we don't interact with them. We're not engaged with the ego mind. We're not engaged with the subconscious mind. We leave them alone and we watch them. This is the only way to master them. You leave them alone, you watch them, and you don't judge them. You just watch how they operate. And then you begin to realize that you'll pick up on the ego mind, on thoughts that come in. And you'll immediately start to understand that that's an ego thought. I'm not interested in that. Or it's an ego response. Not interested in that. So we slowly turn the ego mind from being our master to being our servant. That's what Maitreya did, Buddha, Lao Tzu, all of those that we're a part of. That's what they did. Now, we have a lot of mind chatter, each of us do, and it's that noise, that mind noise, right? And sometimes it's incessant, it's like 24/7. In the now, it doesn't exist. Nor do the 60,000 plus thoughts that we send out, each of us, every day. Now, those thoughts that we send everything out to the universe. But since the majority of us aren't mindful of our thoughts and we don't master them, then we have these little surprises. We always have the surprises because if we knew exactly what was going to happen every split second, it would be really boring. It'd be fun at first, then it'd get real boring. But we also, all these programs that people call thoughts that fly by like clouds in the sky, they're tens of millions and billions, And 99.999% of them are not ours. But they don't exist in the now. Now, the ego mind, of course, will poke you. And we have those thoughts that fly by like clouds in the sky. So you ever wander off? We all do it. It's not a negative thing. We wander off. We can be focused on something, and all the next thing you know, we've wandered off somewhere. You'll be in conversation with someone, you wander off. Nothing against them. And this is when it's important to concentrate on, to be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with oneself. And to be in the highest of the highest side, deepest of the deepest, deepest, purest of the purest, purest, eternal gratitude, love, and peace. So when we do float off, we know immediately to focus on our breath, which will bring us into the now. Now you might find yourself doing this several times a day. But it does take practice. And so as you practice this, then you become more and more masterful of being in the now. You could set the goal, the ultimate goal of being in the now, of being in the now. What's your lifelong goal? To always be in the now. Because in the now, you couldn't, honestly, you could not answer questions like, what are you going to do tomorrow? Or, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Or, what are you going to do tonight? See, you wouldn't be able to answer those. Because if you were able to answer them, you wouldn't be in the now. You would be in or tomorrow. You would be in tomorrow. Where we suffer. See, when we're constantly being chided into tomorrow or yesterday, we suffer. We suffer because we're hurried by the ego mind. We feel like we have to hurry. We have to get this done or that done. It's got to get done. And this ego mind is pushing us, poking us. Being in the now takes us into the God that we are, within. Now you can picture yourself standing in front of 3 paths, right? And you're in the center of it. And the center one is the now. One on the left is yesterday, one on the right is tomorrow. And you see the trees have formed golden canopies over each path. The trees, the leaves, the branches, the bark. And the path itself is a brilliant emerald green flaming grass. It appears to be grass. There is one thing that you notice about all these 3 paths, is that the one on the left yesterday has been really used. It's worn. The one on the right tomorrow has been really used. It's worn. But the one in the center, the now appears to be almost new. And the reason that is the ego mind is constantly pulling us into tomorrow or yesterday. Incessantly so. Never gives up. And the reason is because it knows it doesn't exist in the now. It just doesn't exist. So then you can understand why it's so massively pulling, pushing, and pushing and prodding you to either be in tomorrow or yesterday, where you suffer. Now, we all go into the past. It's kind of like a reference for us at times. We reminisce, we go over things. Thoughts just are there that we have stored in our subconscious mind, and the subconscious mind is the great hall for each of us. And the subconscious mind, it records everything. As soon as you enter that baby body, it starts recording. It records everything around you. It records other people, other events, everything. Past lives. It's all there. Stores it. And it plays it back. This is why, some people call it deja vu. They have other descriptions of what it is. But in reality, it's your subconscious mind playing something over that you've already experienced. And it seems very familiar to you, and you say to yourself, I've been here before. I've done this before. I know I have. And you're right, you have. And it's because the subconscious mind is playing back a recording. It's our great hall. So as we reminisce, and sometimes we'll use it as a reference point where we did something, we tried something in the past, right? Didn't work out too well. So we're thinking, well, maybe if I try it this way, it might work. So we'll go into our great hall. Each of us have one. Open the door. Turn on a light. And whether you know it or not, when you walk into a room, it's really like a flash. You look at the ceiling and the wall. The ceiling and the walls. Well, when you come into the great hall, you're going to look at the ceiling and the walls, but there aren't any because it's so fast. But you'll go and you'll go to the shelves and the drawers. You'll pick some movies out, some books and some pictures. And you'll go sit in an easy chair. And there'll be like a rectangle screen floating in front of you. And you'll watch some of the movies, read some of the books, and look at some of the pictures. Have a great time, reminiscing, reviewing. But we don't stay there. You don't stay there. You do this, and then you put everything back, and you turn off the light, shut the door, and you move forward in life. And on occasion, revisit. Some of us, however, will go into that great hall, the yesterday, and unconsciously stay there so long that they end up taking that past into a future that doesn't exist, create that future from that past, and relive that past in that future. This is why a lot of people say no matter what we do, we always seem to end up here. Now, we all go into the future, because we're drawn. We get hurried. We get seduced into the material physical world. We get hurried, and the ego mind's sitting there pushing us. And you say, stop pushing me. And the ego mind says, no, I got to push you. You got to hurry. You got to get in. You got to know. You got to find out this stuff. So we go into the future. We seek out information. We want external authority to tell us what's just basically what's going to happen with me. What's going to happen for me. Not to you, but what's going to happen for you. And so, you could go to all kinds. You go to tarot card readers and many different card readers, not just tarot. And you can go to astrologers, tea leaf readers, palm readers, pendulum readers, clairvoyants, psychics, and you ask them, you might ask them, when am I going to have enough money to relax and enjoy my life? And they may tell you through the cards or through astrological reading, charts. Yeah, they'll tell you. Now, it depends on how you receive it. There's like roughly, there's all kinds of levels of receiving. But generically speaking, you have somebody that just goes, doesn't pay any attention to it, doesn't believe it. You have the other person that believes it because they've got total trust in themselves and the universe, and so they just leave it alone. They let it go. This is great. They aren't concerned about when it's going to happen, how it's going to happen, and they don't have attachments to the outcome nor expectations. So they just believe and they let it go. Now the other one is just fixated. They'll go to their calendar and mark the day and fixate on it, and visit it constantly. They'll have expectations on the outcome, and they'll have attachments to it. So they'll have the attachments to the outcome, expectations all through it, and it won't happen for them. They push it away. Who do you think it's going to happen for? The second one. Because it'll happen, and they don't really not concerned as to when, and it happens fairly quickly, and they're just blown away. They think it's absolutely marvelous. But most of us get caught up with the ego mind, and when we doubt, and we say, "Oh, that's something that, yeah, right, okay, sure," and it happens. It's a choice. It's just knowing in the now how to manifest without getting in our own way. Now, we're all not the bodies, but the gods within these bodies. The higher self, there's a lot of labels. The God source, creator source, kingdom of God, the heaven, in the body. And all of the other God sources and all the other bodies in physical forms are part of us. We're all one. That's been one of the challenges and hurdles for this civilization and others to really embrace and recognize. So it doesn't matter distance. There really isn't distance. There's the one, which is all things. So we focus to this planet, right? The gods that we are. And we've decided that enough's enough, and we don't care to have lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies, pure evil, souls that have taken in too much darkness, be here anymore. And the only way that is successful is through heart-mind and meditation and pure, deep, eternal love. That's the vibrational frequency. So you take a planet in the arms of blackness and evil, and you transform it to a God planet paradise. And that is only done acknowledging the fact that we are not the body, or the God within the body, and that we continually increase our vibrational frequency and not follow the ego mind. Now, when you think about all of the other physical forms that we're aware of, at least, the few that we're aware of, and you know that what has been or is in those physical forms is the God, which is part of the God that you are in the physical form you're in. So you look at the Ascended Masters, Kuan Yin, Maitreya, Buddha, Lakshmi, Ganesh, Gaia, Saint Germain, Christ, El Moria, Medantia, Pel, Thoth, Yahweh, Yeshua. All those bodies that those gods inhabited, and those gods are part of the gods that we are. So how can you not be a Buddha? You're maybe not as awake as Buddha, or Maitreya, but you're still them. Not the bodies, but the gods. You look at the archangels, the cherubim, the seraphim. Their gods inhabit physical forms. They're part of the gods that we are in these forms. Cherubim, seraphim archetypes. So can you start to see there's no separation? That's the illusion. It's the same with the gods that leave the physical forms, our loved ones, right? Who ascend out of physical form in this lifetime, all lifetimes that we have. They're part of the gods that we are. All the inhabitants of inner earth, hollow earth, Agartha, and beneath earth. They all have physical forms, and they all have gods within them. Pleiadians, Sirians, Arcturians, Andromedans, felines, Zeta Reticuli, Anunnaki, Nords, Greys, Draco, Reptilian, Golden Pyramid, Albion. They're all physical forms, right? What's in them? The God source. No different than what's in us. Fairies, sprites, elves, gnomes, dwarves, trees, trolls, elementals, earth, air, water, fire, ether, mermaid, dolphin, the whale, Pegasus, unicorn, centaur, minotaur. God's experiencing physical form. That's it. Doesn't always have to be the kind of physical form that we view. Could be fire, could be water, ether, could be space. Without the God source, okay, there would be no physical form. So we're in full compassion, non-judgment, non-ego, non-negativity, stillness of mind, gentleness, kindness, generosity, and humbleness, bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, benevolence, prosperity, abundance. And we're all one. We're all God. We're all love. And our God force, love, light, energy isn't all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond and forever. It continues to expand, intensify, grow. We immediately form a massive white fire circle of light around the equator of this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, and this now. This emanates from the God source, kingdom of God, the heaven. You in that body. Pure, deep, eternal love. It permeates, floods, and saturates this planet and all life, the highest supreme value in the universe. This is the highest of the highest high vibrational frequency. Permeating this planet. Bonded in it, above and below it, infinity and beyond. We begin to ascend above the planet. We're immediately met with this massive ocean of glitter. It isn't like an ocean of glitter that you would depict or see on this planet. Way beyond that. So we pick things that we're familiar with on this planet and we combine them to come near the understanding of the ocean of glitter. So we take a grand finale fireworks display, a laser light show display, and a ballroom globe that you shine light on in little faceted mirrors, flood the room with light. We combine all of these and intensify them 1 trillion times into a massive crescendo, a magnificent burst of multicolored sparkling light. And this gets us near to the description of the ocean of glitter. We look at the reflective points, which are everywhere. And we notice these little tiny microscopic perfectly etched mirrors, and we enter them, and we discover that we're all teaching each other. And we're all learning. Those of us who are entrenched in the physical material world outside of ourselves miss most of this. When we were children, we looked at things and we literally wanted to know what it would be like to be that thing, whatever it may be we were looking at. So when you look at something and you say, in the now, you say, I wonder what it's like to be that. You focus on your breath, move into the now, and you'll know briefly what it's like to be whatever that object is that you're wondering what it would like to be like it. To be it. Could be a tree, a bush, a frog, a cat, a dog, a cow, a horse, doesn't matter, a bird, whatever. You literally will know what it's like to be that. Now, the journey within, and discovering the gods that we are within these bodies, this is something that you view all the time. You could entertain yourself endlessly sitting in a park watching nature. Walking through the woods. Enjoying life, the God source. Now we create columns of light to remind us of things. We're met with the flaming healing light of Archangel Raphael. This column of light that we create, the gods that we are, reminds us that we are the power of healing these bodies. And we have Archangel Michael with the violet, blue, purple flaming light. This reminds us, the gods that we are, within these bodies, of our omnipotent power, strength, and resolve. Then we have the white fire. This is a column of light that we created to remind us all these bodies are protected, head to toe, inside and out, infinity and beyond. This white fire armor, nothing like the armor on this planet, way beyond that, emanates from the God that you are in that body. The pure, deep, eternal love is the highest of the highest high vibrational frequencies. As long as you sustain that frequency, you are protected. No demon possession, no attachments, no lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies. Ever, ever, ever. But only you have the power. That if you decide to lower your vibrational frequency low enough through, whether it's conscious or unconscious, through hatred, anger, greed, fear, manipulation, dishonesty, revenge, envy, hurriedness, you will create a breach in your white fire armor, allowing all the lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies come flooding in. You do decide to do this, then, there's possibilities of demon possession, attachment, and other things. We have fail-safes, the gods that we are. We put them into place. First one is a double column of light. First part of this column is the purple transmuting flame. We created this to remind us all that we can bring in the purple transmuting flame. We can transmute all these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies into neutral light substance, sending them to pure consciousness where they're no more. Then we have the second column, the violet ray. We created this column of light to remind us all. We can bring in the violet ray right behind the purple transmuting flame. We can cleanse and purify the area where these lower dark matter survival matter frequencies were, sealing the breach in our white fire armor and restoring our vibrational harmony in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, and purest of the purest purest, eternal love, gratitude, and peace. Then we're met with a column of light, golden white pink light. We, the gods in these bodies, created this column to remind us all that we are the sun. We are the sunlight. We are the rain and the rainbows. We are the sunsets and the sunrises. We are the oceans, rivers, lakes, the streams, clouds in the sky, trees in the forest and the soils and the animals. Everything. Everything is us. Now, those of us who are in the illusion of the ego mind as them being our masters, we look at our beautiful sunset, right? Say, oh, that's beautiful. That's just magnificent. I'm going to get a picture of that. Well, one thing is right, that it is beautiful because it's you, the God in that body. Now, through the heart-mind, in the now, you do that differently because you look at that and say, that is the God that I am. And a shift happens because it's through the heart-mind, not the ego-mind. It has nothing to do with look at me and I'm powerful and I'm this. It's just that that's the God that I am. That ocean, that's the God that I am. The rain falling, that's the God that I am. It's a choice of an understanding. It's a journey that we make. We either choose or we don't choose. We either stay in the ego mind or we master them through the heart mind and the now. And we continue to ascend above the planet. Some of us carrying physical form decide to step outside those physical forms and hover effortlessly above them. The reason we do this is because we can, and it's fun. We come into full contact with this massive crystal light tower. We, the gods in these bodies, created that tower, larger than the solar system and beyond. Now, in the center of the tower, we see this massive oblong sphere. In the center of the sphere, we see this humongous golden white bowl of light. In turn, these create this massive, super bright, sparkling cloud mist. And it's absorbed in through our heart minds. And it feels like a warm embrace that never ends. Now, at the understanding and discovery that the golden white ball of light is the highest of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest deepest, and the purest of the purest purest, eternal love. Then comes gratitude, well-being, gentleness, kindness, generosity, and humbleness, bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, benevolence, massive prosperity, and massive abundance. And all of this is a reflection of the gods that we are within these bodies. At the top of this column, we designed it so the golden ocean can come cascading down 360 degrees, infinity and beyond, saturating, permeating, and flooding this planet and all life, the highest supreme value in the universe. With this golden ocean is pure, deep, eternal love. We are drops of this golden ocean. We also hold the essence of this golden ocean. Golden ocean is the drops of the golden ocean. And the only The only thing that tricks us is the illusion of separation. When we see our meditative sphere, we, the gods in these bodies, created this meditative sphere. It houses, moving towards 1,900 of our meditations in perpetual motion. Over 4 years, the highest of the highest high intense of each meditation, flooding, saturating, and permeating this planet, on it, in it, above it, and below it, infinity and beyond. The power in that is immeasurable. These meditations don't weaken, dissipate, vanish. They do the opposite. We continue to reinforce them, strengthen them, expand them, and intensify them every single day. Every day. 7 days a week. Without fail. This is omnipotently powerful. That's why this meditative sphere can be seen, heard, and felt, and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever, continues to grow, intensify, and expand. Now you can see what's happening with this planet. Going into the now, focusing on the breath. And you notice that all of this, it's a black it's the blackest of the blackest. It's a goop. And it's evaporating from the planet. We, the gods, have generated an atmosphere. In the atmosphere, a golden white pink shimmering light. You see through it, but you can see it shimmering all over the place, as far as you can see, and beyond. And we created a failsafe that if any of this black goop were to make it through, even the smallest particle, through this field, this golden white pink light field, it would be immediately vanished through this golden white pink sky. And what is it? Pure, deep, eternal love. There's no escape. You can see it as it disintegrates, as it's being vacuumed off the planet. It's evaporating everywhere. And you can see it get less and less and less. And any part that gets past the field into the sky, one flash, completely vaporized. Not even a particle left. And this is happening right now. And it continues to intensify and expand on, in, above, and below this planet. Patience and courage are key elements to meditating and are also a byproduct of meditation. Patience and courage. Today is your day to become a meditation master. If you've been sitting for 48 minutes every day and still can't stay focused for more than 5 seconds, it's okay. There is nothing wrong with you. Breathe. Practice compassion with yourself today by having patience with you. Let go of any need to get it perfect. And yet keep bringing your mind back to this moment. The more you can discipline your mind, the easier life will become. Discipline leads to freedom. And this is all of our opportunity to be radically and outrageously free. I'll join you in the meditation, and I'll return to close us out. nose, and an easy breath slowly out through the mouth. Be still. For today, devote the next 24 hours to being gentle with you in every possible way. Practice extreme gentleness with yourself. Being gentle with you means that every time you think a harsh negative thought about you, or a self-doubt, fear, or disbelief in yourself, that you tell yourself something kind in its place. You could say it's okay, you are loved, or something soothing. However, you go about moving through this day, move slowly, gently inside and on the outside. This is the greatest energetic way of saying you love you and forgive yourself for all the times you were hard on you. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night. The following morning, we will return here Wednesday, June 22nd, the beginning of summer, 2022. 3 p.m. Eastern to continue our global guided meditation call, and 9 p.m. Eastern to continue our Time for Change call.